the lost phone in my hand started ringing. Yesterday, I was riding the city bus after school. I was sitting near the window, looking at the streets.
The bus stopped, and many people got off.
I looked at the empty seat next to me. There was a blue smartphone on the seat.
Someone forgot their phone. I picked it up carefully.
The screen was dark. I didn't know what to do.
Suddenly, the phone started ringing very loudly. The screen lit up. I was very surprised.
I pressed the green button and answered the phone.
Hello? I found this phone. I found this phone.
Oh, thank you. That is my phone.
I am using my friend's phone to call you. Where are you now? She asked me. I looked out the window. I looked out the window. I am on the bus on Main Street.
Are you near the city library? She asked.
Yes, the library is very close, I answered.
Can you meet me? She asked politely.
Yes. I can meet you at the bus stop next to the library. Great! The bus stop is opposite the post office, right? Yes, exactly. I will be there in 5 minutes.
Thank you. I am wearing a red jacket, she said.
Okay, I am wearing a yellow hoodie. See you soon!
I hung up the phone. The bus stopped. I got off the bus and stood at the bus stop, and stood at the bus stop. I looked around the street. Where is she? Then I saw a girl walking very fast. She was wearing a red jacket.
Are you looking for a phone? Yes! Yes! I was so worried. She smiled happily. Yes! Thank you so much! It was a great day.
You know, sometimes life just throws you a curveball, a little moment that reminds you there's still a lot of good out there. For me, that moment started with a lost phone in my hand, and it ringing, really loudly, out of nowhere.
Oh, tell me about it. And from my side, it was pure, unadulterated panic. One minute I had my entire life in my pocket, the next, gone. Just gone. You know that feeling, right?
Absolutely, but let me set the scene a bit. It was yesterday, just a regular Tuesday afternoon. I was on the city bus, coming home from school, totally zoned out, listening to music, watching the world go by. Standard stuff, you know?
Yeah, those post-school bus rides are legendary for zoning out. It's like a decompression chamber before you have to deal with homework or whatever else is waiting at home.
Exactly. So I was just chilling, sitting near the window, watching the streets blur past. The bus was pretty full when I got on, but then it started to empty out. We hit a few major stops, and a lot of people got off. That's when things took a turn.
So you're saying the universe decided to make your ordinary bus ride extraordinary?
Pretty much. I looked at the empty seat next to me, thinking, oh, nice, some space. And that's when I saw it. Just sitting there, on the seat, a little blue smartphone, perfectly still, screen dark. My first thought was, someone forgot their phone! My heart kinda jumped, you know? That instant feeling of, oh no, this is bad.
Oh, I can only imagine what that must feel like. From my end, I was already having a full-blown meltdown. I mean, my phone is my life. It's my contacts, my photos, my calendar, my notes for school, everything. I had just gotten off the bus, was about halfway to the library, and then it hit me. That familiar pad on my pocket. Empty.
So I picked it up carefully, like it was some kind of ancient artifact. It was a really nice phone, too. The screen was still dark, though. I didn't know what to do. Should I give it to the bus driver? What if the owner called? My mind was racing.
And while your mind was racing, mine was in total chaos. I must have retraced my steps 3 times, frantically patting every pocket, checking my backpack again and again. It was only when my friend Sarah asked me why I looked like I'd seen a ghost that I managed to blurt out, "My phone, it's gone."
Well, right at that moment, when I was contemplating my next move, the phone decided to make the decision for me. It just started ringing. Super loud, like vibrate on the seat next to me loud. The screen lit up, and I was so surprised, I almost dropped it.
That was me. That was my desperate attempt. Sarah had her phone, thank goodness, and the first thing you do, right, is call your own number. Pure hope mixed with a healthy dose of dread. What if someone picked it up and hung up? Or worse, didn't pick it up at all?
I pressed the green button, my hand shaking a little. Hello, I found this phone, I said, trying to sound calm, but my voice probably cracked a bit. I mean, it's not every day you answer a stranger's phone on a bus.
And then I heard your voice. Oh my goodness, the relief. It was like a wave washing over me. Oh, thank you. That is my phone. I practically shouted into Sarah's phone. I remember adding, I am using my friend's phone to call you, just so you wouldn't think I was a total weirdo calling my own number.
I figured as much. But honestly, I was just so relieved someone had called. It made finding the owner so much easier. Then you asked, where are you now?
Yeah, because the next step was obviously getting it back. My brain was already in recovery mode, trying to figure out the logistics. I was already picturing myself trekking all the way back to the bus depot.
I looked out the window, trying to get my bearings. I'm still on the bus, I told you, on Main Street. I was trying to pinpoint our exact location.
And I immediately thought, Main Street? That's close. I was at the library, so I asked, are you near the city library? Because that was my reference point. That's where I realized it was missing.
Yes, the library is very close, I answered. I could actually see it from the bus window. It felt like everything was lining up perfectly, like a little movie scene, you know?
It totally did. And then, hoping against hope, I asked, can you meet me? It felt like a big ask, but I had to try. You know, you're a stranger, I'm a stranger, but you have my phone.
Honestly, at that point, I was already invested. It felt like the right thing to do. So I said, yes, I can meet you at the bus stop next to the library. I figured I'd just get off at the next stop and wait.
Amazing! And I wanted to confirm the exact spot. Great. The bus stop is opposite the post office, right? I remember asking, just to be absolutely sure. My mind was still reeling a bit.
Yes, exactly. I will be there in 5 minutes, I confirmed. I could see the bus stop coming up. It all felt so quick, so seamless.
I was already sprinting towards that bus stop with Sarah. I mean, 5 minutes felt like an eternity. Thank you. I am wearing a red jacket, I told you, trying to give you a clear identifier.
Okay, I am wearing a yellow hoodie. See you soon, I said, and then I hung up. The bus was already slowing down for the stop. It was perfect timing.
I can only imagine the relief when you hung up, knowing you'd found me. From my side, I was just so thankful, I honestly couldn't believe my luck. Most people wouldn't answer, or they'd just hand it to the bus driver and be done with it.
I got off the bus and stood at the bus stop, holding your phone. I looked around the street. It was a busy area, lots of people. Where is she? I wondered. I started scanning for a red jacket. Felt a bit like a secret agent on a mission, actually.
And I was probably a blur of red jacket, zooming down the street. I saw the bus pull away, and then I saw you standing there, holding something blue. My heart just leaped. You know that moment when you see something you thought was lost forever?
Yeah, I saw you walking really fast towards the stop. You definitely stood out in that red jacket. I walked towards you, holding the phone out a bit. Are you looking for a phone? I asked, even though I was pretty sure it was you.
I smiled so happily. Yes, thank you so much. I grabbed it, checked it to make sure it was mine, and it was. Oh, the sheer relief. It was truly a great day after all. A total turnaround from the panic.
It was. And honestly, it made my day too. Seeing that genuine relief, that happiness, it's a good feeling to help someone out, especially with something so important. It definitely beat just a regular bus ride home.
You have no idea, Leo. I mean, my entire life is pretty much on that device. All my school notes, my family photos, my reminders for everything. Losing it, even for a short time, felt like losing a part of myself. So, for you to not only find it but also wait for me, answer the call, and meet me? That's just incredible kindness.
Well, I just imagined myself in your shoes, you know? How awful it would be to realize your phone was gone, especially on a bus, where it could just vanish forever. I figured anyone would want someone to do the same for them.
You'd think so, but sadly, it's not always the case. I've heard stories, not so good outcomes. So, your honesty really stood out, and it made me think, how dependent are we on these little devices?
Oh, totally dependent. It's insane. Like if my phone's battery dies, I feel a sense of low-grade panic. And imagine actually losing it? The sheer number of things we do with them, from navigating to connecting with friends, it's mind-boggling.
Right? And the thought of having to replace everything, all the logins, all the specific settings, the photos, it's not just the cost of the phone, it's the cost of rebuilding your digital life. That's what was hitting me hardest as I was trying to call you.
Yeah, and it's not like you can just walk into a store and buy your exact phone with all your memories preloaded. Those photos, those messages, they're irreplaceable. I remember thinking, this isn't just a piece of plastic and metal, it's someone's entire world, practically.
Exactly. It's like a digital extension of ourselves, and I was beating myself up for being so careless. How could I have just left it there? I must have been so engrossed in my podcast or something.
It happens, though. We get distracted, we're in a hurry, we're thinking about other things. The bus can be a really busy place, and it's easy to just get up and go. No blame there, honestly.
Well, thank you for that. It's reassuring to hear. It also makes you wonder about the ripple effect, doesn't it? One small act of kindness, and it can totally turn someone's day around. Mine was definitely heading south fast before you called.
Totally. It wasn't some huge heroic act. Just seeing something that needed to be done and doing it. But the impact, that's what's cool. It's not every day you get to be part of someone else's happy ending.
And it makes you want to pay it forward too, right? Like, now if I ever find anything, I'm going above and beyond to make sure it gets back to its owner. It's like a karma boost, or something.
For sure. It kind of restores your faith in humanity a little bit. In a world where you hear so much negativity, it's nice to have a simple, positive interaction with a stranger.
Definitely. It's easy to get cynical, but then something like this happens, and you're reminded that most people are good and they'll do the right thing. Or, at least, they'll try to.
Yeah, and it's a good lesson too. For everyone listening, if you ever find something, don't just leave it. Or if you see someone looking panicked, maybe ask if they've lost something. A little bit of awareness goes a long way.
And for those who lose things, don't give up hope too quickly. Call your phone, retrace your steps, ask around. There are good Samaritans out there like Leo here who are willing to help.
It's true. And hey Maya, it was actually really nice meeting you, even if it was under slightly stressful circumstances at first. It's a story we'll definitely be able to tell for a while.
Absolutely, Leo. And thank you again, truly. You saved my day, probably my week. It just goes to show you, sometimes the most ordinary bus ride can lead to the most unexpected connections and the biggest smiles. Thanks for having me on to share this wild little adventure.
My pleasure, Maya. What a story, right? So, next time you're on the bus, maybe just double-check that seat next to you before you get off. You never know what kind of adventure is waiting to be found. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Do you like winter, John?
Yes, winter is my favorite season.
Is it very cold outside today?
Yes, you need to wear a warm coat. Is it snowing right now, Mary?
Yes, look at the white snow falling.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes, that is a very fun idea.
Where are we going for our holiday?
We are going to a snowy mountain.
Are we going to stay in a hotel, David?
Yes, we have a nice room in a cabin.
Do you know how to ski, Michael?
No, but I want to learn today.
Is skiing very difficult to learn?
No, it is easy with a good teacher.
Where can we rent ski boots?
The rental shop is next to the hotel.
Do we need to wear a helmet, Emily?
Yes, a helmet keeps you very safe.
What time is the ski lesson?
The lesson starts at 10 o'clock.
Who is our ski teacher today?
His name is James, and he is very nice.
Look at the big mountain, Mary.
Wow, it is very high and beautiful.
How do we go up the mountain?
We take the ski lift to the top.
Do you want to play in the snow?
Yes, let's make snowballs together. Are your feet cold in the snow, Robert?
No, my winter boots are very warm. Are you tired from skiing, Linda?
Yes, my legs are a little tired.
Do you want to drink hot chocolate?
Yes, a hot drink is perfect right now.
Is it dark outside now, William?
Yes, the sun goes down early in winter.
Is there a fire in the room?
Yes, the fireplace is very warm and cozy.
Can we go ice skating tomorrow?
Yes, there is a big ice rink here.
Do you have your ice skates, Jessica?
Yes, I brought them with me.
Can you take a photo of me, Thomas?
Yes, smile with the snowy trees.
Did you take a good picture?
Yes, you look very happy in the snow.
Are you having a good winter holiday?
Yes, this is the best holiday ever. Yeah.
Do you want to come back next year, Karen?
Yes, I want to ski here again.
Is our winter holiday over, Richard?
Yes, it is time to go home today.
Are we ready to drive back?
Yes, the car is ready and packed.